Good morning. It is your girl, Pastor Courage Molina, here with the daily Bible reading. Today is day 55 of the Chronological Bible Reading Plan, and we're going to be reading Numbers 3 through 4, chapters 3 through 4, in the New Living Translation. If you like these videos, I speak English. If you like these videos, go ahead and hit the like button. Say good morning. What's up? Good morning in the chat. My faithfuls over here. Y'all be sure to share these videos. Be sure to like and comment, because that is how YouTube knows that you guys enjoy this type of content. And then it tells other people like, hey, are you looking for this? Because there's a lot of people that like this content. So let us share with you so we can spread the word, right? This is ministry work. Okay, let's get into it. Levites appointed for service. Chapter 3. This is the family line of Aaron and Moses as it was recorded when the Lord spoke to Moses on Mount Sinai. The names of Aaron's sons were Nadab, the oldest, Abihu, Eleazar, Ithamar. These sons of Aaron were anointed and ordained to minister as priests. But Nadab and Abihu died in the Lord's presence in the wilderness of Sinai when they burned before the Lord the wrong kind of fire, different than he had commanded. Since they had no sons, this left only Eleazar and Ithamar to serve as priests with their father Aaron. Then the Lord said to Moses, call forward the tribe of Levi and present them to Aaron the priest to serve as his assistants. I wonder when it became a thing for priests not to marry, because Aaron had kids, he was married. The other ones didn't have sons. I don't know if they were married, but Aaron had kids, he was married, and it talked about them, So I just wonder when it became a thing for priests to not, and I know it's not the same. I know it's like Judaism and Catholicism, but I think in my mind, and I don't know this for sure, in my mind, I feel like, it's kind of a derivative, right? Old Testament, because early Christians, the first Christians were Jews. See what I'm saying? The first Christ followers were Jewish. So I'm just curious. It just made me think about when they said that part. Okay, verse 7, they will serve Aaron and the whole community, performing their sacred duties in and around the tabernacle. They will also maintain all the furnishings of the sacred tent, serving in the tabernacle on behalf of all the Israelites. Let me stop, because here's the thing. It is okay when you read the word for you to get curious, because that curiosity helps you to see that so many of the things that you have just accepted as law, you've just accepted as gospel, might be long-term tradition. Like, if it didn't start in the Bible, it's fine, but where did it start? And why did it start? And who started that belief, right? Like, just curious, which reminds me that some of the things that I hold dear, maybe even some of the values that I have or preferences that I have, are not so much theology, but they are just, things that matter to me. So no, I don't do that, but it's not because the words, it's just my, my perspective, my how I feel type of thing. Which is important because we don't want to pass off our preferences and the things that matter to us, like their theology, the things that we've come to in our mind, the way we've processed it, and we're like, you know what, this is what this means. And so now anybody who doesn't do it this way, it means XYZ for them, when really sometimes it's just like, well, I don't do that. That's my preference. There's nothing wrong with it. But I'm just curious. Verse 9, chapter 3, verse 9. Assign the Levites to Aaron and his sons. They have been given from among all the people of Israel to serve as their assistants. Appoint Aaron and his sons to carry out the duties of the priesthood, but any unauthorized person who goes too near the sanctuary must be put to death. And the Lord said to Moses, look, I have chosen the Levites from among the Israelites to serve as substitutes for all the firstborn sons of the people of Israel. The Levites belong to me, for all the firstborn males are mine. On the day I struck down all the firstborn sons of the Egyptians, I set apart for myself all the firstborn in Israel, both of people and of animals. They are mine. I am the Lord. The registration of the Levites. The Lord spoke again to Moses in the wilderness of Sinai. He said, record the names of the members of the tribe of Levi by their families and clans. List every male who is 1 month old or older. So Moses listed them just as the Lord had commanded. Levi had 3 sons whose names were Gershon, Goath, and Merari. The clans descended from Gershon were named after 2 of his descendants, Libni and Shimei. The clans descended from Goath were named after 4 of his descendants, Amram, Ishar, Hebron, and Uzal. The clans descended from Merari were named after 2 of his descendants, Mali and Mushi. They were the Levite. These were the Levite clans listed according to their family groups. The descendants of Gershon were composed of the clans descended from Libni and Shema. There were 7,500 males 1 month old or older among these Gershonite clans. They were assigned the area to the west of the tabernacle for the camp. The leaders of the Gershonite clans was Eliasaph, son of Lael. These names. These 2 clans were responsible to care for the tabernacle, including the sacred tent with its layers of coverings, the curtain at its entrance, the curtains of the courtyard that surround the tabernacle and altar, the curtain at the courtyard entrance, the ropes, and all the equipment related to their use. The descendants of Kohath were composed of the clans descended from Amrar, Issar, Hebron, and Uzziel. There were 8,600 males 1 month old or older among the Kohathite clans. They were responsible for the care of the sanctuary, and they were assigned the areas south of the tabernacle for their camp. The leader of the Kohathite clans was Elisaphan, son of Uzziel. These 4 clans were responsible for the care of the ark, the table, the lampstand, and the altars, the various articles used in the sanctuary, the inner curtain, and all the equipment related to their use. Eleazar, son of Aaron, the priest, was the chief administrator over all the Levites, with special responsibility for the oversight of the sanctuary. I know y'all hear Kingston. Kingston, be quiet. Sorry, maybe y'all don't hear him, but I hear him whining because I've been doing these, readings of the Bible, and then him and Thor are in here, and you can hear the clickety clack when I watch the replay. So I thought, well, I'll just keep them in the other side of the house, but they can hear me. So now Kingston is whining. He's a big baby. God bless. Verse 33. The descendants of Merari were composed of the clans descended from Malhi and Mushi. There were 6,200 males 1 month old or older among these Merarite clans. They were assigned the area north of the tabernacle for their camp. The leader of the Merarite clans was Zuriel, son of Abiel. These 2 clans were responsible for the care of the frames supporting the tabernacle, the crossbar, the pillars, the bases, and all the equipment related to their use. They were also responsible for the posts of the courtyard and all their bases, pegs, and ropes. The area in front of the tabernacle in the east toward the sunrise was reserved for the tent of Moses and of Aaron and his sons, who had the final responsibility for the sanctuary on behalf of the people of Israel. Anyone other than a priest or Levite who went too near the sanctuary was to be put to death. When Moses and Aaron counted the Levite clans at the Lord's command, the total number was 22,000 males 1 month old or older. Just looking at this organization again. So yesterday we talked about how God organized the camp where they would be, that they would have these they would all stay with their own clan, and they would have their flag, and which one would stay on what side, and y'all are going to stay over here, y'all going to stay over there, and these are the people that are going to stay here. This is how this is going to be done. And then we see again today with the registration of the Levites, how not only is he saying who's going to serve and how they're going to serve, he's also saying what responsibilities are going to be whose. He is delegating. Anybody struggle with delegating? Let me see in the chat. Am I the only one that struggles with delegating? Because I struggle with delegating, telling people, okay, do this, how it's going to be. This is going to be set up. But here's the thing. It's not that we're God delegating, right? But if we want to do great things, we cannot do them alone. And that means in order for people to thrive in their areas, they have to know what they're responsible for. And when something doesn't get done, we need to know who to hold responsible, so things don't slip through the cracks if something goes wrong. And that's exactly what happens. As a solopreneur, I'm a CEO these days, but as a solopreneur, so many things slip through the cracks. As a one-woman show, when it comes to leading Bold Faith Community Church, so many things just slip through the cracks. But when you assign things to people, be them volunteer or staff or collaborators or whatever, when you delegate things to them, this is what I want you to do and this is how I want you to do it, then people can take responsibility and ownership. And then if they don't take responsibility or ownership, that's a different conversation. But you can see that we're not intended to do great things and manage amazing things by ourselves. It's not just on Aaron and his two sons to manage the whole tabernacle. Come on, Jesus. I don't know who that's for. It's not just on Aaron and the two sons that he has left to manage the entire tabernacle and all the sacrifices and all the other stuff. Oh, this is really good. This is really giving me revelation. I've been studying for the sermon this weekend, and this is right in line, actually, and I didn't even know it. Look at God. Okay. Now I'm in verse 40, and it's going to start talking about the redeeming of the firstborn sons. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Now count all the firstborn sons in Israel who are 1 month old or older, and make a list of their names. The Levites must be reserved for me as substitutes for the firstborn sons of Israel. I am the Lord. And the Levites' livestock must be reserved for me as substitutes for the firstborn livestock of the whole nation of Israel." So Moses counted the firstborn sons of the people of Israel, just as the Lord had commanded. The number of firstborn sons who were 1 month old or older was 22,273. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Take the Levites as substitutes for the firstborn sons of the people of Israel, and take the livestock of the Levites as substitutes for the firstborn livestock of the people of Israel. The Levites belong to me. I am the Lord. There are 273 more firstborn sons of Israel than there are Levites. To redeem these extra firstborn sons, collect 5 pieces of silver for each of them, each piece weighing the same as a sanctuary shekel, which equals 20 gerahs. Give the silver to Aaron and his sons as the redemption price for the extra firstborn sons." So Moses collected the silver for redeeming the firstborn sons of Israel, who exceeded the number of Levites. He collected 1,365 pieces of silver on behalf of the firstborn sons of Israel, each piece weighing the same as the sanctuary shekel. And Moses gave the silver for the redemption to Aaron and his sons, just as the Lord had commanded. What? Then the Lord said to Moses, "Take the Levites as substitutes for the firstborn son of the people of Israel, and take the livestock of the Levites as substitutes for the firstborn livestock of the people. Levites belong to me. I'm the Lord. There are 273 more firstborn sons of Israel, and there are Levites to redeem these extra firstborn sons. Collect 5." Okay. I don't know what it means to redeem them to him. Does it mean to set them aside? Does it mean that they live they're part of the Levites? Does it mean that it's just like these are the firstborn sons, these extra two, this part I seem to understand. The extra 273 firstborn sons, they're not gonna go because they're more, that's the overage. So there's gonna be, so for these firstborn sons, Israel's going to give to the temple, give to the tabernacle. What is it? 5 shekels. So it's the sanctuary shekel. Each piece weighing the same. Collect 5 pieces of silver. 5 pieces of silver for each man, each firstborn, 1 month old and older, all 273. So 273 times 5 pieces of silver is what the people are going to give to the tabernacle. I don't know. That's what it seems like. That's something I would study. When you read the Bible and you're like, I don't know what that means. Okay, I understand what the word redeem means, to bring back to me. I get that. But what actually does that mean? They're not going to be sacrificed. Does it mean that they're going to work at the temple? Is this figurative? Does this talk about how they're going to live? I don't know what that means. This is not, it's not in this day. We don't do this. We might use the word redeem, but this is not what we do. So what does that look like? I would definitely be looking this up in the background, cultural background, to understand what that really means and what that looked like for them. 1 second. Kingston, quiet. This is my life. This is real life over here. It's real life. Chapter 4. I mean, I love him, but he's aggravating. Chapter 4. Then the Lord said to Moses, he really gonna make me get up. He really gonna make me do it. Oh yeah, I gotta do it. Y'all give me a second. Keep still. Be quiet. Little side note, I watched this video yesterday. He's at it again. I watched this video on Instagram. First of all, I watch all my videos on Instagram. I watch my video on Instagram, short form. And the guy was like, when you tell your dog to do something, unless you're in a position to get up and make them do it, don't say it. So I shouldn't have told him to be quiet because I'm not really in a position to get up and make him be quiet. You know what I'm saying? I'll remember that for next time. Let's get into this. Chapter 4. Chapter 4, the duties of the Kohathite clan. Then the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, record the names of the members of the clans and families of the Kohathite division of the tribe of Levi. List all the men between the ages of 30 and 50 who are eligible to serve in the tabernacle. The duties of the Kohathites at the tabernacle will relate to the most sacred objects. When the camp moves, Aaron and his sons must enter the tabernacle first to take down the inner curtain and cover the ark of the covenant with it. Then they must cover the inner curtain with fine goatskin leather and spread over that a single piece of blue cloth. Finally, they must put the carrying poles of the ark in place. Next, they must spread a blue cloth over the table where the bread of the presence is displayed, and on the cloth they will place the bowls, ladles, jars, pitchers, and the special bread. They must spread a scarlet cloth over all of this, and finally a covering of fine goatskin leather on top of the scarlet cloth. Then they must insert the carrying poles into the table. Next, they must cover the lampstand with the blue cloth along with its lamps, lamp snuffers, trays, and special jars of olive oil. Then they must cover the lampstand and its accessories with fine goatskin leather and place the bundle on a carrying frame. Next, they must spread a blue cloth over the gold incense altar and cover this cloth with fine goatskin leather. Then they must attach the carrying poles to the altar. They must take all the remaining furnishings of the sanctuary and wrap them in a blue cloth, cover them with fine goatskin leather, and place them on the carrying frame. They must remove the ashes from the altar for sacrifices and cover the altar with a purple cloth. All the altar utensils, the fire pans, meat, forks, shovels, basins, and all the containers must be placed on the cloth, and a covering of fine goatskin leather must be spread over them. Finally, they must put the carrying poles in place. The camp will be ready to move when Aaron and his sons have finished covering the sanctuary and all the sacred articles. The Kohathites will come and carry these things to the next destination, but they must not touch the sacred objects or they will die. So these are the things from the tabernacle that the Kohathites must carry. Eleazar, son of Aaron, and the priest will be responsible for the oil of the lampstand, the fragrant incense, the daily grain offerings, and the anointing of oil. In fact, Eleazar will be responsible for the entire tabernacle and everything in it, including the sanctuary and its furnishings. Then the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, do not let the Kohathite clans be destroyed from among the Levites. This is what you must do so they will live and not die when they approach the most sacred objects. Aaron and his sons must always go in with them and assign a specific duty or load to each person. The Kohathites must never enter the sanctuary to look at the sacred objects for even a moment or they will die. So what he's saying is, yes, he's responsible. I know I was like, you can't be responsible for everything. He's putting them as overseers. Y'all are responsible for all these things. This is so good. This is such confirmation. Y'all are responsible for all these things, but when these people come in to do their work to help, you're going to be the one to delegate. You're going to be the one to tell them, this is what you do, this is what you do. Make sure they don't come over here. Make sure they don't go over there. You're going to do this, you're going to do this, right? Anybody wish you could get this type of instruction right now from the Lord as a leader, right? Like, who exactly do you want me to get on my team? Who exactly, like where you can audibly hear him? Who exactly do you want me to get on my team? What are their assignments? What would you like for them to do? I'm going to talk to the Lord today about the assignments for the people. What does he want them to do? It's great. This is really good. Duties of the Gershonite clan, verse 21. Even when you read the Bible, even if you don't study it, if the Holy Spirit brings something up and you recognize, oh, the Lord, let me tell y'all, yesterday I recognized that the Lord was organizing the camp. I'm like, oh, I want to be like God, but there are things that I don't have organized. Do you know what I did? I made an appointment yesterday and I started to get some things. Yesterday, I read yesterday, okay? I got that revelation while reading, not even while studying. I got that revelation by reading and thinking about what I was reading. And then when I was done, like later that afternoon, I was like, you know what? I made up my mind while I was reading. Actually, for the record, I was like, the Holy Spirit dropped it on me. This is what you need to apply this to in your life. This is the area, right? And so, do you know what I did? I went ahead, I got online, I made an appointment. The lady was like, when would you like to make an appointment for? You know, the one who's like trying to see what I need or whatever. She's like, when do you want to do it? She's like, we could do it later today if you got time. I was like, yeah, I'll make time. Let's do it. And I got to tell you, it didn't feel good. The process of getting it organized didn't feel good, but I felt good afterwards. Right. And I'm thinking, like, okay, what's next for today? Mm-mm-mm. So good. So my next step is to pray, just in case you're wondering. I'm saying, wouldn't it be nice to hear God tell you something? One of the things that I do when I need help, I haven't done it in a long time. I don't know what is wrong with me. Sometimes we just get out of stop. I don't know why we stop doing what works, but when I have questions or I have decisions to make, I'll write them down in my prayer journal, and turn on my worship music, and then just be in the presence of God. Just welcome the presence of God, and ask the Holy Spirit to speak, ask God to speak to me. And I wait to hear the response to my questions. What should I do? Who should I hire? These are the two things I'm thinking. What would you like for me to do? But I haven't done that in a minute. So now that I've read this and I'm thinking to myself, oh, that would be nice. Now I'm going to go ahead and allow the Lord to tell me who I should hire, how I should delegate, because the Lord will do it if you ask. Verse 21. And the Lord said to Moses, my throat's dry. Duties of the Gershonite clan. And the Lord said to Moses, record the names of the members of the clans and families of the Gershonite division of the tribe of Levi. List all the men between the ages of 30 and 50 who are eligible to serve in the tabernacle. These Gershonite clans will be responsible for general service and carrying loads. They must carry the curtains of the tabernacle itself with its coverings, and the outer covering of the fine goatskin leather, and the curtain for the tabernacle entrance. They're also to carry the curtains for their courtyard walls that surround the tabernacle and altar, the curtain across the courtyard entrance, the ropes, and all the equipment related to their use. The Gershonites are responsible for all these items. Aaron and his sons will direct the Gershonites regarding all their duties, whether it involves moving the equipment or doing other work. They must assign the Gershonites responsibility for the loads they are to carry. So these are the duties assigned to the Gershonite clans at the tabernacle. They will be directly responsible to Ithamar, son of Aaron the priest. Here's a system. God operates in system, but we don't have one. God operates in systems, but you don't have one. He's organizing the entire people of Israel into a system. It's just you, and you don't have systems. Come on, we got to get systems. This is for me too. Summary of the registration, verse 34. So Moses, Aaron, and the other leaders of the community listed the members of the Kohathite division by their clans and families. The list included all the men between 30 and 50 years of age who were eligible for service in the tabernacle, and the total number came to 2,750. So this was the total of all those from the Kohathite clans who were eligible to serve at the tabernacle. Moses and Aaron listed them just as the Lord had commanded through Moses. The Gershonite division was also listed by its clans and families. The list included all the men between 30 and 50 years of age who were eligible for service in the tabernacle. The total number came to 2,630. So this was the total of all those from the Gershonite clans who were eligible to serve at the tabernacle. Moses and Aaron listed them just as the Lord had commanded. The Merarite division was also listed by its clans and families. The list included all the men between 30 and 50 years of age who were eligible for service in the tabernacle, and the total number came to 3,200. So this was the total of all those from the Meritite clans who were eligible for service. Moses and Aaron listed them, just as the Lord had commanded through Moses. So Moses, Aaron, and the leaders of Israel listed all the Levites by their clans and families. All the men between 30 and 50 years of age who were eligible for service in the tabernacle and for its transportation numbered 8,580. When their names were recorded as the Lord had commanded through Moses, each man was assigned his task and told what to carry. And so the registration was completed just as the Lord had commanded. Moses. I love how registration included job titles, job responsibilities, things for them to do, overseers, organizers. I absolutely love that. Registering them included giving them assignments and saying, y'all are going to be responsible leaders. Do you hear this message today? You are responsible for delegating. I know it's for me. I got to get my life. I got to delegate. Come on, somebody. Y'all are responsible for delegating, for telling people what their roles are, what they need to do, and then following through. And if you don't know a lot about leadership, myself included, I know what I know, right? Sometimes we're really good at what we're good at, but when it's time to lead and add people to our number, add people to our company, it's a difficult thing, or to our ministry, it's a difficult thing because we don't know how to vet them, we don't know how to add them, and we don't know how to lead them. We don't know how to lead them. We don't know how to lead them. So we want to be great leaders. What we're really great at, for example, I'll use myself an example. What I'm really great at is teaching the word of God, teaching you how to study the word of God. I'm really great at like strategy. I'm really great at those things. Great at leading. I'm getting great at leading. You know, I'm determined to be a great godly leader. But like this organization, it requires that you're organized. It requires that you delegate. It requires that you trust God. You don't even have to trust the people. Come on, Jesus, that's for me. You don't even have to trust the people. You need to trust God and pray and ask Him to lead you to the people and do the best that you can as far as vetting. It's not always going to work out. Some people are going to go with you. Some people are going to start with you, and they may just be a part of just one thing, and then they move on to something else. But don't get discouraged by that, right? Don't get discouraged by, people no longer wanting to work with you or collaborate with you, or just not working out or fizzling out or whatever. If you knew, how many people have come through to help the church get to where we are. And when I say come through, I mean they have come through and left. They've come through doing something and now they no longer do it. If you knew how many people that was, you would understand what I'm saying to you. And it definitely doesn't feel good. I'm not saying that it feels good, but I'm saying we can see in this word that what we've been called to do, we're not meant to do by ourselves. And if we want to be, anybody want to be a godly leader in the area He's calling you to lead, whether that's in your house, whether that's in your community, in your church, where God is calling you to lead, then you got to lead and delegate and pet responsibilities and things like that. You know what I'm saying? All right, listen, it's time for me to go. But before I go, I still have a few minutes left. And so I want to encourage you to enroll. I want to encourage you to register for the retreat. I want to encourage you to register for the retreat. It's July 14th through the 17th. It's going to be in Greensboro, North Carolina. And it's going to be an amazing time. One thing I want to say about the retreat is that if you are a person who feels like you've come to know Christ and you've been going to church, but it's just like you just want to have fun. You know what I'm saying? You just want to have you don't want it to be so serious all the time. And you just want to have a good, like good, clean fun with other women. Sometimes I look at things and it's like everything they got, it's fun, right? But sometimes I look and I'm like, everything they got that is like supposed to be like connecting and this and that is over drinks. And it's fine. I don't drink. I don't care about drinking. I can go and and not drink. I'm not bothered by people drinking, but it is a certain atmosphere, right? Or like, oh, they're having a paint and sip, they let it drink again. And then what they painting is, a man's torso or something. It's, you know what I'm saying? And so sometimes it's like, you know what? I just want to have I just want to have a good time with people who love God, where I don't have to worry about hearing certain conversations. Yes, we can tolerate it, but sometimes we just want to be with our own people, right? Believers. That's what I mean. Our own people, something like that type of community, right? Where something like, okay, I don't mind being around other people, but sometimes it's great to be in a safe place where I don't have to worry about offending people. You're going to be offended if you're going to be offended by me saying something about the Lord or me praying. That's fine, because I'm going to pray. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say my grace. I'm not going to, shrink, but it's just nice to not have to worry about that, right? To not have to worry about any of that and know that it's just going to be a good time. And so if you've been thinking like, I'm a Christian and I want to have a good time, I want to have fun, I just, I want to be around people who want to have fun, then this is going to be an amazing retreat for you. It's not the only thing, right? It's not the only thing on the agenda, but I want you to know that it's going to be a good time. And there are at the afternoons at this resort and spa. It's a resort and spa, y'all. The afternoons at the resort and spa are open. I remember when I used to go to conferences and I went to a couple of retreats. It's like they have so many things back to back. That last retreat I went on wasn't like that. But for the most part, when you go somewhere, they have so many things back to back that one, it took all you had to get away from your family or your daily responsibilities and work, because you don't typically do that. Now you're at the retreat or now you're at this event and it's go, 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 go. And now you wish you had time to just sit in your hotel room, because you never get a chance to just sit in a hotel room. You wish you had time to just connect over lunch. You wish you had time just to read your book or walk or take a nap or whatever without feeling guilt, without thinking about the dishes or the laundry or the whatever that needs to be done. This retreat is going to allow you to do that. That's included in the retreat. We were mindful of that. We want you ladies to get out and enjoy the facility. We want you to enjoy one another. We want, for those of you like moms with small kids who never get a chance to go anywhere by yourself, you tired of these kids, you tired of all that. We want you to be able to take a nice long nap after the morning session, after the second morning session, if you want to, and not feel like you're missing anything, not feel like somebody's waiting for you. So if you are looking for a good time in a community of believers, so you don't have to worry about certain things, then this is the space for you to come to. So go ahead, go to the church's website, boldfaithchurch.org, and reserve your spot today. I cannot wait to see you there. All right, I hope this has blessed you. Be sure to like the video, subscribe, drop a comment, let us know you loved it, and share this too. All right, love y'all. Later.